Police say Mason shot and killed 26-year-old Tevin Moore, who suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators tell Fox 4 News that Moore died on his birthday at the Plymouth Village Apartments in the 5000 block of Helbig Road. A call to police came in at about 2:45 this afternoon.
First happened shortly after 4:30 this afternoon. DPS troopers tell us that a pickup truck was heading westbound with two people inside, and when it crossed this area of I-10 near Smith Road, a crane apparently messed up somehow, and that crane ended up hitting the truck, killing the two people inside.
Ramona Red doesn't think her 11-year-old daughter Rachelle should be walking alone to and from school. The girl attends King Middle School in the Avenues neighborhood in Beaumont.
I can't trust it. You don't know what she's going to run into, who's going to stop her, who's going to try to pick her up. It's really unsafe for any child.
Red says she would like Rachelle to ride the school bus, but Beaumont ISD says the girl's not eligible since her home is not far enough away from the school. Red says though it's a 4-minute drive, that's 20 minutes on foot.
I'm not alone in the situation. There are several parents that's being put in the same predicament. You know, their kids live a distance away from the school, and according to them, it's a no bus zone. So their either option is to walk or the parents find a ride.
Red struggles to rearrange her work schedule to make sure her daughter never has to walk alone.
I'm trying to work and be a mom at the same time, and right now it's really difficult.
But she's not going to risk Rachelle's safety, especially after the concerned mom went online and looked up the neighborhood.
So many sex offenders in the area, it was ridiculous.
We also did some research of our own and learned parents of walking students have reason to be worried. When we typed the address of King Middle School, 1400 Avenue A, into the Texas Department of Public Safety's Sex Offender Registry, this is what pops up. Each pin on the map represents a sex offender ranging from low to high risk. We focused in on a 6-block radius or within walking distance of the school and counted 23 registered sex offenders, including one who's ranked medium risk, living about a block away from King Middle School.
Hardin and Orange County medical staff at 2 different locations work to stay on track with vaccinations by offering a weekend vaccine clinic.
It's the only way we're going to stop this. It's the only way we're going to calm this down.
Due to the weather last week, we were not able to conduct our daily vaccination clinics.
Health Director Sharon Whitley says it's important to keep giving vaccinations despite delays.
The more vaccines we have in arm, that means there's a demand, and if there's a demand, we can get a steady shipment from the state.
The health department vaccinated residents who had pre-registered before February 5th.
It was great. I got here at my appointment time and filled out the paperwork and got right in, and it worked really well.
The mass vaccination plan allows us to vaccinate a large population within a certain time limit.
And Whitley says they will continue on this path as long as there's a need and the supply is available.
We've received over 100 calls.
Those calls are from property owners, both residential and industrial, whose pipes have burst as they unfreeze.
Water expands as it freezes, so that's what's going to cause your issues with your pipes.
Plumbers and hardware suppliers offer one way to help prevent permanent damage.
The first thing you want to do is cut your water off. So a water key, even a pair of pliers, if you can get to your main valve, you can turn that off, and that's going to prevent any excess water from getting into your house or getting in under your house and those kind of things.
If it's inside your house, you know, you could flood the inside of your house. If it's outside, not a lot of damage, but, you know, running your water bill up, you know, if you don't get it shut off in time.
And one possible DIY fix if a plumber cannot arrive to complete the job.
So you're gonna have a coupling on each side, a new piece of pipe in the middle, cut around your issue that you're having, and then you can repair it quickly and easily, especially with the SharkBite fittings we have that just push on to click on quarter turn and you're set. M&D
Supply says at this time they are fully stocked within a Sunday morning, the Texas Department of Safety began screening drivers heading westbound into Texas from Louisiana. DPS Sergeant Stephanie Davis says troopers will check for the travel form required under Governor Abbott's executive order.
I think that every state looking out individually for themselves, they have to take these type of precautions. I think that Louisiana, I know that they were a little bit more lenient, and I think Texas is kind of protecting themselves by doing that.
The screenings are done at Texas counties that border Louisiana, including I-10 West at the Travel Information Office in Orange County heading into Southeast Texas. Commercial drivers don't have to stop, and the DPS says it is not checking to see if incoming drivers fall into the category of essential workers. No one will be told to turn around. The Salvation Army in Beaumont is preparing to spread holiday cheer as volunteers get ready to serve a Thanksgiving meal.
We have our Thanksgiving meal, and we try to make sure that the day before Thanksgiving that we have a really great meal for people to come and enjoy themselves at. Also, we're feeding 7 days a week.
Since 1865, the Salvation Army has brought in thousands of holiday volunteers to assist with cooking and serving meals, creating a family atmosphere.
My mom volunteers during Christmas.
This year, the COVID-19 pandemic is changing how the community comes together.
We serve our meals outside now because we want to make sure that people are safe, that we are socially distancing ourselves.
Captain Moore says he's seen a major decline in volunteers for this holiday season. This Memorial Day weekend, one man who enlisted in the U.S. Army and fought in World War II recounts his time of service.
I kept pretty close to a friend of mine that lived in Pennsylvania, and one time they had sent us up on an observation post on the Rhine River, and then the Germans must have seen us, but they sent 2 Germans up there to capture us. So we was prisoner of war for about 2-3 hours. So we caught them off guard, and they treated us so bad that we treated them bad. We shot them both. So, and then when I went back, when we went back to the to where we was stationed, I had a pup tent over there, and while I was gone, a shell had landed in my tent and blowed the whole thing up.
Port Acres native Ernest J. Saunier says he took part in the Normandy Beach landings in 1944 as an artillery gunner and helped to recover the bodies of dead soldiers about a year and a half later in Germany. He also helped to recover the body of General S. Patton. But he says it wasn't all sadness and sorrow. He took home a beautiful souvenir, his wife Renee, who he met and fell in love with in France.
We was married 58 years. And we come back home together, and the wife couldn't even talk French even. I mean English. She couldn't talk English. The only thing she could talk was French. And I could talk French. Well, that brought me home.